Testing, 1 2 1 2. Yee!
This is My Era podcast. We spark the minds that set the trends that change the world as we know. And it starts right now. So let's go. This is My Era. Hosted by Kuda Biza and yours truly, Mr. Alexander Starr. This is My Era. Represents everybody who knows they want a better world and does something about it. This is our era. What about you?
Welcome to the This Is My Era podcast. Today I have two of my good friends, Jonny and Jeremiah, aka the richest kids in Maine. Man, what an amazing story. Two very young men doing some awesome things on e-commerce. They're going to tell us how they came from nowhere to have a product that has more than 12,000 reviews, how to get the bestseller tag on Amazon, and how just to, go out there and do your own thing and not work a regular 9 to 5, but by just leveraging all the tools that are out there on e-commerce for you to be able to do it. They didn't go to any special school to get this knowledge. They all just learned one day at a time by doing it themselves. So help me in welcoming the richest kids in Maine. What's up, guys?
Thank you. What's up, guys? What's up? It's good to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us on the podcast.
Yeah, so guys, can you tell us about yourselves? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jonny Caiani. That's a really dope name because it rhymes. And Jeremiah Lee Klingman. Talk to us. Who are the richest kids in Maine, and what do you do?
That's funny. Well, I'm the only one in Maine now because Jeremiah just moved to Colorado, actually. But we're doing good, man. Thanks for having us here. So we started this business, Tribe Fitness, about 3 years ago. But before that, we'd know each other our whole lives. Our parents were actually friends. So we grew up together. We had a great friendship our whole lives. We didn't chill like every year. We had a couple years where we didn't even see each other much. But whenever we reconnected, we would always be great. And I feel like that's very important for a business relationship. You have to like the other person that you're doing business with. But yeah, we knew each other our whole lives. And both of our parents had businesses, actually, which is funny. I feel like we got a little bit of influence from that. Me and Jeremiah specifically had pretty entrepreneurial mindset. Like Jeremiah's family had a famous sauce that we would try to market to the neighborhood, just little schemes here and there.
Got that sauce.
But,
okay.
Yeah, the sauce.
Got that sauce.
So one day, what happened to me was I had a Zune in my room, and I listed it on Amazon.
Wait.
And then
stop right there. Describe what a Zune is, because that's kind of throwback.
Right. Yeah, it is throwback. You're right. A Zune is like Microsoft's version of an iPod. So straight up, that's what it was before they didn't sell them anymore, because iPod, I guess,
crushed them out. Yeah, it completely crushed them out.
So I had a Zune in my room, and I listed it, and it sold within like 10 minutes, and that blew my mind so hard. And I let Maya know, and I just was so gung-ho on the internet and sales, and I was just trying to figure it out at that point, and I knew nothing, literally. So I would just go to like Goodwill, buy something for a couple bucks, and try to flip it online. Literally, we did that for like a couple of years. Me and Jeremiah, like trying to just find a way, and we would like trade secrets with each other. Tell each other what's working, what's not, all that. And then we decided to just partner up together because we worked really good together, and we didn't even know how we were going to do it. We didn't really have a strategy. We had a couple ideas, but we just knew we worked good together. So we decided to partner up together, and that's right before Tribe was started. Maya, you want to take it from there?
Or? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we, like he was saying, we partnered up. We worked well together, so we just started to dive in on e-commerce and tried to make it work. We did that for, I want to say, maybe 2 years max, being partners, and we were making good money doing it. The margins weren't that great. It wasn't very consistent. We didn't have, everything we were selling was other people's products. We had to go and find, the next hot product, make sure it's selling well, and try to get a good deal on it. So it was stressful. There was too much work we were doing, and it was just a lot of time with not that great margins. So then we kind of we knew private labeling, kind of white labeling, buy something generic from China, slap your brand label on it and sell it as your own. We knew that was very popular at the time. This was around, a little over 3 years ago. And we knew it was something that was taking over e-commerce at the time, and we wanted to get in on it. Eventually, we kind of stumbled our way into it, and by just, researching, just experience through the platforms that we'd already trained ourselves on. We had already been working with, companies like Alibaba, manufacturers in China, and just from the years past experience. So we kind of stumbled into private labeling, and that's how we started Tribe. We started with one of our still bestseller products today, which is just an armband, a running armband you put your phone in when you go to the gym. And we started out literally just put our brand name on it, threw it up on Amazon, and tried to make it work. We kept researching, hard work definitely paid off. We were up, crazy amounts of hours every night trying to figure out the different strategies, because it was a whole new ball game selling our own products on our own listings and marketing to ourselves and not for other people. So we started doing that, and eventually we kind of learned the ins and outs of e-commerce in general for the platforms we were on. And we started designing the products ourselves. Customers would say, hey, we don't like this. We'd go, all right, we'll go back to the manufacturing, back to the drawing board, and kind of redesign it. Eventually, we had for all of our products that were pretty different from anyone else, and it really became our own brand and our own company that we started, getting customers ourselves through, outside platforms, and keeping those customers, reselling to those customers, kind of building that audience up. And that was definitely a huge point for us, where we knew it was kind of it was bigger than us at that point, and it was something we never envisioned it ever becoming even that big, but it was pretty awesome. That kind of puts us where we are today. We just kind of kept launching different products, different ideas, and we launched everything under the sun, but then we kept everything that was profitable, that fit with the brand, and everything was a good learning experience. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm curious, what was the first lesson that you learned regarding private labeling, and how much competition is actually out there? Standing up tall enough to get noticed with your label versus however many other labels exist online that people can shop through. How do you get yours selected?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. Well, like I said earlier, we started out as a private label company selling literally just generic. It was an armband. It was our first product was a generic running armband from China, and we quickly realized that the customer wins. The person who gets the most customers is the person who wins, and we knew that we were selling on Amazon as the sales platform, so we knew that reviews were kind of the lifeblood. Everybody looks at reviews on Amazon, so we wanted. Once we started realizing, hey, customers are complaining about XYZ, we knew that, all right, we need to go back to the drawing board and fix XYZ. So that's exactly what we did. And almost every month we were tweaking the product, tweaking quality, adding extra stitching here, more patches of different fabric and different materials here, adding, extra Velcro, did longer things here, holes here, to really make it completely usable and high quality for the price point and for anyone who wanted to use it. And that alone, just really, keeping the customer in mind and not just trying to like peddle the products. You got to really remember that what you're selling, if you're thinking, you got to think long term enough to know that what you're selling, if it's going to be around for years, the customer they'll know if it's a bunk product. You know what I mean? They're going to know if it's not high quality. Eventually it'll come out. So we really kept, quality in mind. And ever since then, when we started taking that seriously, every product we've launched since, quality has been our absolute number one concern. And really, so that's kind of the basis to how to get and keep the customer. How to really get the customer from that point is just kind of the marketing to really show yourself like, hey, this is different from everyone else's. You got to really differentiate. When everyone's zigging, you got to zag.
Mm-hmm. And another thing is we were willing to grind hard without necessarily making a profit as a whole company. We were willing to take a loss for months, like just because we saw the long-term vision that was
Yeah,
there,
absolutely.
and we knew it was coming. So we were just like, all right, let's keep just working away, and it's coming, and keep the quality up, and everything will fall into place, and it really did.
So basically, you're saying delaying gratification has a much greater payoff than the instant gratification where you just make $10 and you want to withdraw it and go spend it.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost every time in my experience. Yeah. Obviously, it depends what it's about, but yeah.
Awesome. So, do you guys primarily just sell on Amazon, or you've started expanding into other channels now?
Yeah, so we have our own website as well that we've been expanding the last year. Like Facebook advertising and Google AdWords, those are both huge platforms, but they're also a whole nother beast. So that's something we've been primarily scaling this year alone in 2017. That's something that there's obviously huge potential for selling through our own website, and we're just now beginning to see see and reap the benefits of it. But it's something we're
Right.
scaling currently.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too, because the way Facebook ads and like having a website feels to us right now, it's kind of like the beginning of when we started Amazon. We really didn't know much, and we're learning everything right now and trying to implement everything we know and really try to grow it. So, yeah, that's an exciting area. It's a lot of new stuff to learn and
Keeps
new
things
beasts
interesting.
to tackle. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So what's the name of your website if people want to go check it out?
Yeah, it's tribefitness.co.
Not .com.
Yeah, that's,
We're
Dot
working
co.
on getting the .com.
That's cool. That's cool. So, how many products do you guys now have? Since you primarily talked about the first product, which is the running armband. How many products do you now have to date?
Yeah, so it's funny because that's an interesting subject. We currently have around 20 SKUs, but only like 4 products themselves. You know what I mean? So a good way we grew so fast is by keeping a very lean structure. We didn't want to launch something and get it to 50% and then launch something else. That was because we didn't have the budget to do so. So we wanted to launch something, keep a laser focus on that, and launch as many variations as please that customer as much as possible and capture every customer in that market before launching something else, before spending the money and the time to really figure out a whole new market. And so that's what we've kind of done with every market we've gone into.
So right now, Star is looking at me with a very confused face. When you said SKU, he doesn't know what that is. So do you mind explaining what a SKU is?
Yeah, no problem. So like the products we have, like 3 or 4 separate products, we have different SKUs underneath them. So whether it be different colors, different sizes, those are all, it is one product per se, but we advertise them as separate products because they're different. You know what I mean? The customer who buys a red version of one product is not the customer who's buying a pink version of that same product. It's just a different person. So we advertise them as separate products. So we really capture as much market share as possible in one market and get, for example,
in
most
doing
markets,
math,
we'll say, what was that? Sorry.
I'm sorry to cut you off. So in doing math, you said you have 4 products, 20 SKUs. So that means you have 5 variations for each product.
Well, not necessarily. If divided evenly, it would be. But we have there's one product we have 8 different color variations, 8 different SKUs of that same product, and 2 different sizes.
And then we have one, and then we have one product with literally no variations.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
I was trying to be fly with my business division. So I'll let you business people get back to that. Go ahead.
yeah, no problem. So with having them as completely separate products, we can really capture that market share completely. So like if for example, let's say you're selling I don't know. Well, I'll just say the example of one of our armbands. The primary color is black. That's the most popular color. But at the same time, we'll say black gets, I'll just say 500 sales a day. That's how much sales the black is getting. Those are how many customers are converting for a black armband. But and so all of our competitors will most likely have one variation, just the black one, or maybe a black and a blue or something. But we'll have like 10 different variations of 10 different colors, all of those sales combined might be over 1,000. You know what I mean? So by just having all those different SKUs, all those different variations in the same market under the same listing, it creates a very large funnel for all of those reviews, all of those sales, all of those upsells for different colors, different sizes, to all be channeled under the same listing. That'll give you a crap ton of reviews. We got, thousands and thousands more reviews than anyone else doing pretty much that strategy, along with, other things as well. But really just getting the most sales. Like I said before, the person who gets the customer is the person who wins.
Amazing stuff. So far, I think you've shared a couple of lessons. One being focus, where you really just focused on one product until you felt like you had reached the highest level you can reach with that product. And then the second lesson being, delaying your gratification and being patient and making sacrifices, right? I'm pretty sure you guys needed the money, but you were like sacrificing, that gratification in order for you to make this product as big as it can. Why don't you share maybe 3 more lessons you've learned in your journey as kind of like e-commerce entrepreneurs? Because I think it'll be valuable for people to just kind of like learn from, some of the things you've learned from and maybe avoid those type of mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mentioned earlier, how we had launched everything under the sun. Some things we kind of went into were really trendy. Sometimes something you're looking at a market and it seems like, hey, this is something great to sell. This might fit the brand. It might be good, but it costs too much. If you can't support, like if you're trying to make, $100,000 a month on one product, if you can't support buying inventory for 100 or 50 or 30 grand a month, then don't sell that product. You know what I mean? Unless you're really willing to let it grow and grow very slowly. If you reinvest everything. So we had launched products that were just too expensive starting out when we didn't have the capital. We had launched stuff where like, hey, it's selling pretty well, but there was just we couldn't afford the inventory for it if we wanted to have it full scale. So we ended up dropping them. Another cool thing that kind of goes back to what I was saying about quality is we had launched a product that was a 7-figure product. We were making a lot of money doing it, and it was actually pretty profitable. But we knew that looking at reviews, looking at the return rates, the refund rates, customers weren't happy with it. You know what I mean? And they weren't everybody. You can't please every customer, but they weren't happy with it to the point where we knew there was a serious problem. We needed to either fix it or cut the fat. You know what I mean? So we ended up dropping that product, and it was a profitable product, making a lot of money. We ended up having to replace it with something else because we knew that down the line, if it gets too much to the point where we get shut down because of it, or customers complain so much that nobody wants to buy that from us anymore, we didn't want to be stuck with, we'll say, 50 to 100 grand worth of inventory of something we couldn't sell anymore. So we had to make the decision to really cut it off when we could, and it ended up working a lot better in the long term. We launched something else instead.
Great. Jonny, do you have some tips you want to share?
Yeah, for sure. I have a couple I could touch on. One of them is, I think one of the biggest ones is that I've learned a lot from this is really just like we had a goal in mind. Obviously, we didn't have a specific goal when we started. All we wanted to do was create a more freeing lifestyle for ourselves. Like our passion wasn't just to take sales of random stuff, we were just trying to create a different lifestyle for ourselves. So having that goal in mind and then like putting in the work towards that goal and then seeing it unfold in front of your eyes, it's like literally one of the greatest feelings ever. And like that alone is such a great, like you can apply that for anything else in life. Like you're trying to get a girl, you think about how you kicked butt in the business, and you know what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying, it's like it's the same idea of setting a goal.
Can you expand on that just a little bit? Expand on the girl metaphor.
The girl metaphor. All right. So let's say you're really nervous about starting a business, and then you start a business and it's becoming successful. Let's say you're nervous about asking this girl out. Look at your life and how you were nervous about starting the business, but it came out good. So you could apply that same lesson that you learned. You could say, all right, I was nervous about that, but it didn't hold me back. So I'm nervous about this, but I'm not going to let it hold me back, and I'm going to execute, and I'm going to get what I want.
So
So
or at least
you're basically saying
try.
that, yeah, you give it a try.
Right,
Don't be
exactly.
afraid.
Because especially us being so young, it's like we have all we have is time. So it's like even if we did fail, literally we could try 3 more times and fail all those times and then try again, and we would like eventually, if you keep trying, we would have made it. And another thing I want to touch on is communication. I learned a lot about that through business. Just generally, really, I don't really have like a horror story or anything, but just staying in constant communication with your partner, just being clear about everything. I feel like it's just a good thing that you can apply for anything in life too, honestly. Like communication is just so big into maintaining any relationship in a positive way, in my eyes anyway.
Cool. Well, what about any of the exciting things that you hit that you'd like to share? So, like, let's say, at what point did your business become a multi-million-dollar business, and did you celebrate, or like, were there any key moments where you guys kind of like were like, oh wow, thank God we didn't give up? What are some of those milestones that you guys
it was
have
kind of funny
been
actually,
able to
because
hit?
starting out, me and Johnny never really had a goal of like, we want to hit 10 million in sales, we want to hit 5 million in sales, or anything like that. It was a monetary return was never in our minds. We just wanted to create a lifestyle that we knew we wanted, and what we were doing at the time just wasn't doing that. So that was our goal in mind. So when we hit, it was funny because we always had that mind. I remember that mindset. I remember being in a bathroom with Johnny, and we were literally like both at the urinal, and we're talking about the business. This was right before we started, and we were like, this could be $1 million business. We could sell. We could be $1 million business with this if we really put the effort in. And we were like, that's crazy, that's amazing. And then
we were just like so giddy.
Yeah, we were
just
like
laughing so hard.
it. And I remember like a year later, we were then $1 million business, and we were like, oh hey, wow, we hit the $1 million point, and we nothing changed. You know what I mean? Nothing actually changes with the monetary value that you get. You could then be a $10 million business. Nothing really changes. You know what I mean? It's really what you make of it. So like Johnny was saying, like the confidence that it brings, the different experiences that it brings, really those were our mile points. We went to Hawaii, we went to Thailand, we brought our friends and our family, and it was we had just some amazing experiences through that. Those were really our big milestones.
Yeah,
awesome.
right. Yeah, I'd like to add a little bit. Right, it's like I'm trying to think, like we didn't really have many like big parties like, oh, we hit this thing. Really, like the whole friggin' journey has been like the success, like because we get to set our own schedule, pretty much do what we want, and yeah, pretty much that.
So one thing that I wanna re-highlight is that you
Yep.
said you took your families on vacation. You went to Hawaii and Thailand, and this is big for me. It's a big point for me because I've said in previous interviews that like the greatest happiness that comes from money is being able to do things for other people. And
Yes.
we really, really want everyone who embraces the "this is my era" lifestyle to know that you don't claim this is my era just so you can go achieve your dreams and do everything for yourself. You do it so that you could do for other people. Because this is my era. It has my in it, but for me personally, and I believe many other people feel like I do, in making it my era, it's my joy to make it other people's era as much as I can as well. And
Exactly.
yeah, and it's really cool to hear that
Absolutely.
y'all said you got to take your families. I mean, at 21 and 22, you're taking your families to Hawaii and Thailand. Like, that's a beautiful thing, man.
Thank you, man. And like you said, it's all about giving back and having a positive outlook on life. But like this money is just a tool. Like we're going to be able to live our lives, comfortably. And like you said, like we have the potential to impact so many people's lives. And that's really where I want to go in my future. I want to impact a lot of people in a very positive way. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said. And that really resonates with me.
That's amazing. a couple of things. Firstly, Star and I would like to be part of your family, so that when you plan that next trip, you can kind of like slide us in on the tickets as well.
yeah.
We'll be real good. We'll behave. You know, we won't cause any trouble. So it'll be fun. But more importantly, I truly like what you said in terms of giving back and making a difference. And part of what we do, with the This Is My Era movement and some of the businesses that we've started, is we educate children in Africa through the Amani Hope Foundation. So, I know you guys, you're still young and, you have your whole life ahead of you, but look into, maybe doing the same thing or something that resonates with you. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to educate children in Africa or whatever, but if you see an area of need that you can address with the resources that you now
Right.
have, I think that's the biggest gift that you can leave on this earth, because to whom much is given, much is expected. So, with this additional resources that you guys are, having and you're stewarding, it's going to be important that you use it to really impact change. So, I know you guys are already thinking about it, and you guys are probably on it. But I just wanted to share that point since we're on the subject. My question to you guys is that with the profits that you're making from your Amazon business and from your online business, have you guys started diversifying into other wealth creation tools like investing in stock or other vehicles? Is this something that you guys are doing in order for you to preserve and
Oh yeah,
grow
yeah,
your wealth?
absolutely. Yeah, me and Johnny are very active in the stock market. We love trading. It's definitely been it's a roller coaster. I mean, the stock market is so insane, but we definitely diversify in that way. Recently, I bought a 4-unit apartment building in my hometown, and that was another way of diversifying. It's definitely something I'm always thinking of. Absolutely.
Yeah, same. Like Maya said, we're messing around with stocks right now. That's really fun. Has a lot of upside, but not really too guaranteed. Kind of almost like play money, because you never know what's going to happen on that. But along with that, I remember me and Kudo were talking about the Income Store a while back. I've been talking to them about investing in one of their websites as a passive cash flow. Also, both Jeremiah and I have side Amazon brands that I have it by myself, actually. I have a solo brand. And then Jeremiah has a partner for another brand that he's on too. So between all that, we keep pretty full plates. But I'm definitely always looking, I'm sure Jeremiah is too, to diversify into new investments. Definitely.
That's great. Great that you guys are making those strides. So, a question we always ask, and I want you guys to answer it separately. A question we always ask a podcast guest is, how are you making it your era? So, Johnny, I want to hear your side of how you're making it your era. And then same thing, Jeremiah, how are you making it your era?
Awesome. All right. Well, I guess I'd say I'm making this my era by taking control of my life in the sense of what I do with my time, so I can strategically plan out and have fun along the whole way. Some really impactful stuff that I can impact everyone else in my era too. Yeah, just really enjoying my life. Like, that's what I'm just trying to focus on lately. Create a natural positivity that will infect others. I mean, there's not much more than that.
Yeah. Definitely kind of a similar kind of story. Like Johnny was saying, kind of strategically planning your time to whether it be have fun, grow your business and also impact others. I've been trying to do kind of all of that all at once. It's definitely been a handful, but it's been fun. I've been trying to start a charity for local churches in my area, along with I started a few businesses with buddies of mine, just taking a low equity and just helping them through it to kind of help other people with the experience you have, to really kind of just give back in a way.
Yeah, along with that, I'm also looking with a few of my friends just to invest in them maybe monetarily or just pouring into them, but into businesses that they are confident in, and just so we could just help see all of our friends succeed, and then just keep spreading that as much as we can.
That's amazing. That's good. We really like how you guys are making these good strides. So do you want to share information of how people can buy, your products? Right now there's a lot of people who are kind of like going the health and wellness route, i.e., running, working out and things like that. So do you mind, just maybe sharing one more time, where they can find your products? And if you have a promo code for the This Is My Era listeners, I think it'll be great if you have one available.
Yeah,
No
yeah, for
pressure.
sure. You can go to tribefitness.co. That's our website, or you can search Tribe Fitness on Amazon, and you can get our storefront there. You can use for a discount, you can use the code SAVE30, save 30% on your purchases there.
Good. That's great stuff, guys. Any last words for the listeners? In fact, before we get to that, what advice would you give, the 16-year-old self? I know you guys are not that old, but, 6 years ago, what would you tell yourself now that probably you could do differently, today that you've learned over the past 5 or 6 years?
Right. Something I would say, I guess, like when I tell a lot of people about the business I'm in, they say it's like so much to learn or whatever. Just really like pour into yourself in the sense of learning. Like if you don't learn how to make a $10 million business after one day of researching how to do it, just keep researching. Literally, if you keep researching for months and months, or even weeks, or even maybe it'll only take a couple of days. If you just keep researching, then you'll learn the next thing, and that'll help you become that much more successful. And so I guess my advice is just keep going, keep trying new things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, you guys are like really chill and really fun to talk with, man. I want to let you know I appreciate that about you, because you guys you're young, you're energetic, you're wise, and you're smart, but you really are making it your era. And, in order to be a successful business person, it doesn't mean you have to be a stiff corporate person. This episode,
Right, absolutely.
This episode should let all our podcastians know and understand that you can be your normal, cool self. Just do it the right way and the smart way, and you could become a millionaire just being yourself. It's really not as difficult as what many people think. And me personally, I'm looking around the studio right now wondering what I can go sell on eBay. I'm taking stock right now, so as soon as we hang up, I'm looking.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Cool. And when are you guys coming down to Miami to do the song?
Man, we gotta schedule that soon, dude.
We got the studio session ready for you, man.
For real.
Oh man, dude, that sounds so awesome. I would love to, honestly.
Let's do it, guys. You know how to find us. Come down and we can throw some bars in the studio, and we can make some good music. All right.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, sounds
hey, thanks
good.
again, guys, for having us on the
Yeah.
podcast. It was really great
thank you
talking
so
to you
much.
guys. You guys are great, and we love what you're doing with the whole "This Is My Era" movement. It's seriously such a positive movement.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, guys. We look forward to connecting with you again and hearing how your story is unfolding and how you're continuing to make it your era.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thoroughly enjoyed that interview with Jonny Caiani and Jeremiah Klingman, founders of Tribe Fitness. Yo, those guys are so cool, man. Like,
Definitely two young men, 21 and 22, who've been able to work hard, put in the work, and build a multi-million-dollar business. I was really, really pleased by the fact that they have the wisdom to honor their parents and their family by taking them on vacation. But they're now even helping their friends become entrepreneurs too. They started out in Maine. Now Jeremiah is now moved to Colorado, but they still remain connected. And I really like what they're doing, and definitely keep an eye on these guys as time goes
I
on.
mean, you know, it's a good mix, a good mesh of good vibes and also seriousness, because business is serious, but it's always important to keep good vibes and positive energy. Keep them things flowing, and you will do well.
Wise words from, very young men who've been able to find success through, hard work and, self-learning. So, true testament to the internet. And I hope that this can inspire some people out there to actually, go out there and make it their era and enjoy the freedom that comes with becoming an entrepreneur.
Yes, sir. So, man, thank y'all so much for tuning in once again. It's been an incredible journey for us, and the journey continues on the next episode. We hope that your ears will join us.
And be sure to go on thisismyera.com, with a lot of things that you might find helpful as you're trying to make it your era. So definitely go to thisismyera.com to learn more and, get some helpful, tips and tricks on how to make it your era. See you next time.
I dedicate my time to making myself better, and it starts right now. This is my era. Well, let's go. This is my era. Oh yeah. This is my era. It's about that time. This is my era. Come on. Come on. This is my era. What about you? Everybody runs the race. Some have what it takes, and others don't make it through. What about you? Stand up when they call your name. Stand out when you do your job. Let greatness notice you. If you're just wishing for glory, then what are you asking? Victory ain't sweet if you don't live through the pain. So many great ones before me found glory everlasting. That's what I came to do, came to be. Cause see, this is my era. Oh yeah, this is my era. It's about that time. This is my era. Come on, this is my era. This is my era. Come on, this is my era. What about you?
This is my era, this is my era. The mission and the vision never been so clearer. Seems like the world ain't getting no better. If you wanna see a change, take a look in the mirror now. You possess the key to unlock it. Open up the door, opportunities knocking. You can't deny. On this road that we're walking, there's gonna be some obstacles, but we'll keep on marching. Some will doubt you, even talk about you, but this world wouldn't be the same without you. Golden people on the rise, we know our value. Reaching the impossible, we'll show you how to. Don't know about you, but I know about me. I was born with everything I need to succeed. Living out the dreams, what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to be. Cause see,
this is my era. 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 What about you? The world is counting on me, yeah. To be that change that we all wanna see, yeah. Whoa. And as long as I'm living and breathing, I reach for the sky, giving living a meaning.